Why is it so difficult for your loved one to maintain a relationship, a partnership? What problem does he have with you? Maybe relationships don't last long for him. The relationship with you, maybe it's always a back and forth. They are unstable. What is the reason? Let's look into this collectively now. What is occupying your loved one? Why? Who cannot maintain a stable relationship, partnership? Dear ones, we are collective. Person cards are gender neutral. This is your counterpart, both male and female. Not only that, all person cards in this deck, as mentioned, please adapt for you and your situation in general. Collective reading. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart that you exist. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your loyalty, and thank you to everyone new who has joined here. Also, a big thank you to those in a channel membership, and a warm welcome to everyone, along with a heartfelt hug to all. And I am now sending you lots of positive energy, many beautiful, happy moments. And I have also taken the question from the collective again. I also found it very nice. And, you can always at any time very gladly return to the collective. Write suggestions for readings for the collective. The questions, of course. And as I said, very gladly. So now let's take a look at what's going on there. Why? Of course, this why mainly relates to you as well. I am always in the energy because it concerns you as the viewer. So then let's take a look. So for one, we immediately have the Seven of Swords. With your loved one, it's like, yes, he tries to somehow always get out of a relationship. Relationship means a connection, not an affair with someone else. So the relationship, we are now here at the connection. Why can't he have a stable relationship, partnership, the stable one? And it seems that he always tries to wriggle out of the whole situation and is also dishonest. So here we have a theme of dishonesty. Maybe he also beats around the bush a bit. And yes, he definitely keeps running away from the whole thing, right? It might also have to do with responsibility. But somehow he is always like this. Is he perhaps under some delusion? Or yes, Omov, is it also that he deceives, pretends something to others? And we take another look, more precisely what's really going on there. Yes, dear ones, we are with you. As I mentioned earlier, we have, which I find wonderful now, we already have the Ace of Cups. So with him, this escape, which he repeatedly takes and somehow sneaks out of the affair. Yes, this card deception, this dishonesty, and the dishonesty here really has to do with love, because it's like this, something here has to do with love, to do with you, and somehow a love theme, a theme of love, his heart's touch. There must have been something, but as I said, we are getting to the bottom of it here. But with him, I already see that somehow the fulfillment, there is something here where he perhaps doesn't really seize the opportunity, that something is still lingering with him. Yes, and somehow he is not in harmony even with himself. But there is already this, yes, maybe it's also about making amends for himself. Something is definitely very strongly stuck with him. As I said, we are at the question of why. So, and then when we look at you, as I said, we are in your energy. It's about you here. We have the Queen of Coins. And there it is also. What now occupies him in your direction? What now has to do with the relationship, the connection with you? There is this sensuality of yours. this familiarity. There is something, you are like grounded, this generosity, this so caring and reliable. Here it is about reliability and standing faithfully by his or her side. And that is the theme. There is something, it is stuck with him in this area, but you send that out to him, he feels it. I can definitely tell you that. So let's take a look. If we can get even more precise. Well, now I'm really curious. So we definitely have, and I can say this with absolute certainty, a very, very significant issue from the past with your loved one. Issue from the past. So there was a huge rift past on one hand. We have here, it could be a mother, it could be a father. As I said, we're back to the topic of person cards. It could also be familial. It could be a sister, a brother. So anything is possible. Familial, let's please use the term familial. That is definitely a topic. And, or also relationships with another person. Regarding relationships. Because here he was always lying to himself. And these fears as well. With your loved one, I can clearly see here, it's a past issue, it's incredible. It couldn't be clearer than how it is here. The past issue, here I say mother now, but as I said, please adapt it for yourself. It's a mother issue that has repeatedly caused him to doubt himself. This self-doubt, and then also relationships. They didn't last long either. They were superficial. So this superficiality, there was more of a focus on material things. That's also how I see him, as if he was raised to always focus on money. So also in the past, maybe in his childhood, he grew up in an environment where, as I said, there was always a focus on money, and that always stood in dominance. Or it was simply suggested to him repeatedly, conveyed to him, that money is the most important thing. Or yes, relationships don't matter as long as the money is right. Something in that direction, because I always have this theme line there, and I always have that too. What has continued? The relationship with another person. And there was always this complete trust. He has never really let himself go. Because I always have him on this alert position, this something is coming here. And then it's like tense, that's right. It ails him greatly, this disappointment, it's deeply rooted in him. He hasn't let go of what he learned, what he experienced back then. And that's the issue. And as I said, this fear of loss, this internal pressure, maybe he was also as a child, yes, because as I said, just as an example now, maybe it was also the case that the mother or the family, the parents, it can be both parents, that he was always pushed aside. There must be money coming in, work must be done. He had to function and he wasn't allowed to make any mistakes. I have this strictness, this hardness, this coldness also present here. Not completely, but I always see him in the feelings of guilt, this making amends. He always has to make everything right again and has to keep showing and proving himself. Hey, here I am and look at what I've done. And I did it right and absolutely no mistakes. But again and again, because he was pushed away. Then I have past relationships here. It was exactly the same there. At the beginning, it might have been great. The getting to know phase was fantastic. Everything fit perfectly. But it became clear. Yes. It was again all about the material things because he always thought, okay, he had to somehow show the material aspect too, or the money. I would say material finances and the material things. That is like a definition for him. It always is, because as I said, he doesn't know it any other way. This is this old pattern, what he knows, this clinging in him. And then he always has in the background, he will be abandoned, he is threatened, he is pushed away. And there we also have someone who suddenly and spontaneously makes this cut, withdraws, ends the whole thing. That he is not abandoned. And I have clearly here as well, I also have that he was cheated on. Perhaps it was kept as a secret because he doesn't want to say it. Because outside God, as I might see here now, it could very well be, then I was always a secret. I have it here. But what I clearly have is that he or she was cheated on themselves. Yes, it could also be because I have this sudden moment here, this shock, this moment that perhaps it was seen or heard. So, yes, definitely experience, almost live. It could also be because I have this very strong, intense shock and this fear, and he hasn't processed that yet. And as I said, the recurring theme is that he was abandoned. He was pushed away, and there was always something, some secret kept resurfacing because I kept encountering the lies, the secrets, these misunderstandings. He completely closed himself off, and he has never fully opened up in a relationship because I always see the relationship in retreat here, always in the closed off state. And then there was this stress factor that in every relationship he expects something, as if always searching, always this searching, he's looking for a catch, something is coming. I always like to say it's like he's standing on a watchtower looking in all directions ahead. Something is coming from somewhere now. I know it, right? And he's just waiting for it. And because of the fear has always ruled him. And truly letting go, as I said, he never could, he never has. Above all, he has never truly experienced love. There was always this complete opening up, letting go, always this issue. There's something missing there. He couldn't, as I said, not yet. So, and then we have, he met you, and also the fear, and you, what we also see here, this sensuality, this warmth, this solution-oriented approach, this you being there, this warmth. And warmth, the way you are there has also, please don't be alarmed, made him afraid, caused fear. But that's because he doesn't know it. And there's fear of accepting it, truly accepting it. On the level of consciousness, because something always comes up that doesn't fit. Something like when he does something, there's always a but. Or he gets these accusations. That's how I've always seen it. Whenever he did something or maybe received a gift, or someone helped him out of a tight spot, or when he was sick, this care, and there was always an "I did this for you" accusation. Always accusations. Constantly bombarded, always an accusation. These feelings of guilt, and he kept trying. He had to do something again. He had to make it right again. Because I have him lying here like a marathon runner, always this stress, this burden with the expectation that something is coming. But you are like this, you give but expect nothing. You like being there, whether he is sick or if a solution is needed here, or something like that, you are there. And you expect nothing. And when he then says, okay, here, as a way to make amends, you say, no, I don't want anything for it. I did that gladly from the heart. So, and this, if we express it figuratively, wow, the jaw drops. And then like, what? And it's like, you can't really believe that something like this exists. And as I said, it touched the heart. And he is like that. He can't really get to it. Always these fears, something comes up again. And that's his issue, because fundamentally he has this fear of loss. And through this fear of loss, that he will be abandoned. And also in his environment, he keeps searching. There is something, it is like this tension again and again. Some problem keeps coming up here. And as I said, this fear of loss before he is abandoned, he leaves, he prefers to go. It hurts him, definitely, but then he hasn't been abandoned. And that's it, that he wasn't abandoned. Because there I always have the injury again. The past so clearly, it doesn't get more obvious than this. And it's always these connections. And there's the secret, as I said, what I always see, this secret might never really, maybe a small puzzle piece that has always existed, a small chunk somehow, that he lets something show through, but not completely. Because that remains complete. That is the secret here. And because I also see a very big jealousy issue here with you. That's his perspective on himself, no matter what he shows you outwardly. This, when you think why he's so confident or something, no, I don't see that here. In this collective reading, I see him rather torn. I see him very doubtful, also doubtful even about himself. And above all, truly feeling love. For him, it's like he really longs for it, to be able to let himself go. But again and again, this blockage comes up, something comes, I get hurt again. And that's it. And some people do manage to sneak through this insincerity, as I said, towards himself, but also outwardly, like deceiving. So what does deceiving mean? He shows something different. When he shows coldness or something like that, or has knee-jerk reactions, then it's a real knee-jerk reaction. It's an emotional outburst for him, because he just doesn't know, oh God, what exactly should I do now? And so he prefers to always run away before he gets hurt again. It also hurts him. It doesn't mean it doesn't hurt him at all. But if he wasn't abandoned, and he can keep telling himself the same thing over and over. So let's see what else we have here. Yes. So we have the major arcana twice, and we have, on the one hand, the devil. With the devil, it is also shown that he always has this, it's like a dependency that keeps recurring. These are his or her own shadow issues. Always this, as if he can't let go of it. And he always doubts, preferring to keep his distance again and again. It's partly like a pathological mistrust, which is also shown. This, as I have also said, is sick. Now we have it here again. And there it is simply this. From the past, what he has experienced. These are his own shadow issues. And as I said, always this running away. And you are not in the material realm. You say, I don't want money from you. I don't want anything given to me. Of course, one is happy about it, but you say you have no conditions with you. And there is your warmth, this warmth. And that is what he felt, what he perceived. And something has already changed within him. But still this fear, which is simply shown that he or she will be hurt again. Because you are completely different from anything he has ever experienced. And there is also an area within him where he says internally, okay, then that's just how it is. Then, no, I will be hurt again anyway. I know it. Unfortunately, we keep encountering this here. And then we have the hermit. And with the hermit, it is also shown that he already experiences this. Loneliness. Fundamentally, he is very searching. Lonely. And this aimlessness at times as well. Because even when he runs away, he still doesn't have a direct goal, really, just anymore. And he repeatedly retreats into this withdrawal, this isolation, so that he won't be disappointed. But in terms of movement, I see here that he is indeed on the path to self-awareness. Self-awareness, that's what you have given him. Here, how you have touched him. And he is already in the area, becoming a bit more reflective each time. But I would still like to have one more on that. Okay, so it already looks like there's a bit more movement in it. As I said, the self-awareness, because the self-awareness, I didn't want to leave it so open here because there's still something here. And with the 8 of Wands. Now we have the clarification. Clarification in the change, this realignment, self-awareness, realignment. And a positive development is also shown here, that the whole thing is being looked at. Yes, we are still in the delay here occasionally. There's a standstill, but your beloved is truly undergoing a realignment here. So, this self-awareness to make everything new, to look at it, to go into change, a realignment. Realignment in that area, then also to see what has been here, what you have given him, to get a clear view of that. There's the realignment, and it already looks very positive again. So, as I said, something is already happening. He is already moving in this direction, that something has always gone wrong here. Things are not going well for him, as if he has been constantly held back. Outside this heaviness, there, something came, and then it was the same mess again. Only you came, and you gave him, yes, so these rays of sunshine. And that's where he starts to reorient himself, to change his perspective, to look differently, out of it and into it. The change. Dear ones, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for watching, and I wish you a wonderful, beautiful day. Goodbye.